Call the August 18th Plan Commission meeting order. Miss X, please call the roll.
Mayor Olson,
Here.
Commissioner Hogan, here. Commissioner Burkhart, Commissioner Haley,
Here.
City Engineer Morrow,
Here.
Alderman Hanneman,
Here.
Commissioner Leon.
Here. We have a quorum. Please rise and join the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is approval of the regular meeting minutes of August 4th. Any additions or corrections? Haley and Hogan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to public hearings. Item C1, Jack's Incorporated Lubricants for Machinery and Process Packaging Business. This is a public hearing for special use in the industrial park. Ms. X, you have a public hearing notice, please.
The City of Franklin Plan Commission will hold a public hearing on Thursday, August 18th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the Common Council Chambers at the Franklin City Hall, 9229 West Loomis Road, Franklin, Wisconsin 53132, to take public comments regarding an application for a special use permit for a special use to operate industrial, synthetic, and food-grade lubricants for machinery and processes packaging business, including a fenced area for 6 liquid propane tanks and 2 concrete pads for filling units east of the main building. Canning and packaging businesses require a special use permit in the Plan Development District Number 7, Franklin Industrial Park, on a parcel located at 9845 South 57th Street, zoned Plan Development District Number 7, Franklin Industrial Park. This public hearing is being held pursuant to the requirements of the standards of 15-30701 General Standards for Special Uses, 15-30703 Detailed Standards for Special Uses in Non-Residential Districts, and 15-90103 Applications for Special Use Permit of the City of Franklin Unified Development Ordinance, a map showing the property affected, full legal description. The application and all supporting materials are available for review and may be obtained from the City Council by way of request to the Department of City Development of Franklin City Hall, 9229 West Loomis Road, Franklin, Wisconsin. A copy of the proposed special use resolution in draft form is available and open for inspection by the public at the office of the city clerk at Franklin City Hall, same address. The public is invited to attend the public hearing and to provide input.
It sounded like an AICP read that. That was very
Aw.
Mr. Martinez, the English language version, excuse me, that was rude. The plain language version of this.
Yep. Good evening. Thank you. 2 components here. One is the special use to allow for this use that is canning and packaging in the Franklin Industrial Park. And the other component is the minor site plan amendment for the improvements. So improvements are the 2 concrete pads for the filling unit and the area for the LP tanks. So the special use is submitted for Plan Commission recommendation, and they will follow to Economic Development Commission recommendation, and finally subject to approval by the Common Council. However, the Plan Commission may recommend conditions to be imposed on the minor site plan amendment for the improvements that the applicant has submitted to a staff, but we have on hold waiting for the approval of the special use. So with regard to the special use, according to the information provided by the applicant stated that the use and improvement will comply with the special use standards and the hazard standards of the UDO. That meaning that it will be the filling units, according to the applicant, will produce just minimal noise. And according to the applicant, these improvements will not produce any vibration, odors, heat, glare. That's the standards that we have in the Franklin Industrial Park. Staff is recommending approval of the special use. However, there are 2 conditions that I would like to highlight for discussion of the Plan Commission. Those are condition number 7, that staff is recommending that the applicant will need to provide landscape screening approximately between the area of the improvements and the street that is 57th Street. So the applicant will need to provide landscape screening approximate in this area. So that's one of the conditions. And the other one is condition number 8, that staff is recommending that the applicant will need to provide a wall or a fence around the LP tanks area. These two conditions are not in the proposed minor site plan amendment. So if the Plan Commission choose to add this condition, the applicant will need to address that to obtain approval of the minor site plan amendment. This item is scheduled for the Economic Development Commission for next week.
I apologize to the applicant and you, but the question I have, is this properly before the Plan Commission? Is this not an Economic Development Commission approval?
The thing is that the special use needs to go to the Plan Commission for the public hearing.
Okay. Okay. The applicant's here. Would you like to add any additional information?
Happy to answer any questions that you may have. Regarding the fence around the LP
Oh,
tanks.
Kyle.
All right. Since you're going to do a little bit more,
Yeah.
and give us your name and address, please.
Sure. My name's Kyle Peter. I'm the president of Jax Inc. We're based on Campbell Drive in Menominee Falls and looking to open a second production site here in Franklin. I don't have much to add. The process is packaging our lubricants into aerosol format. Regarding the fence, we did have a question on the application as to what type of fence you would require surrounding the LP tanks. We were initially thinking wire fence with privacy slat. It sounds like that may not be what you would like. We're happy to do whatever is required to surround those LP tanks, whether it be a wood slat, however you would like us to do that. And the other question is how high you would like it to go up the tanks.
We'd like it to screen. Former chairman of Economic Development approved most of the buildings surrounding you. We would like it to screen the tanks from view. And so it's as high as the tanks.
Okay.
And wood slats or something like that, that is properly maintained throughout the life of the fence.
Okay.
But no chain link, no
Okay.
chain link with slats,
No problem.
because we
Yeah.
all know what happens to those.
Yeah.
And no reflection on you, but.
Sure. No, understood. Yeah.
Okay, with that, I will open a public hearing on this matter. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the matter? Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one rise, I will close the public hearing. Questions of the applicant from the commissioner? Alderwoman Hanneman, and then Alderman Morrow.
Thank you. And I'm just asking for a little bit of clarification on those two staff recommendations, which I'm fine with. But we do say that, or staff does indicate that a chain link fence with privacy slats is acceptable for this purpose. So Mayor, are you saying that is not the case?
I'm saying that it's my recollection, not fact, that approvals of this sort in the past through the Economic Development Commission has always required something better than
Okay,
chain
so
link
that's the
slats.
clarification that I'm looking for. The landscape plan.
Certainly, if the applicant wants to push back, we'll do some more investigation, but we would prefer it be screened.
Sure.
But the landscape plan and the fence would not have to come back to Plan Commission. That would only go to EDC?
Correct.
Okay, thanks. That's all I have.
Mr. City Engineer.
So I have a question on the LP tanks. Assuming that these are somewhat of a permanent nature, and when will they need to be accessed just to refill them? And
Yes.
So the gates, I guess I'm looking. I've seen a lot of gates that don't seem to last if you go in and out a lot. So
Sure.
is it a seldom use thing, or is it a lot, or how often will these tanks be accessed where you need to open up and get next to them?
Would you anticipate?
Let's have your name too.
My name is Andrew Heimer. I'm the process and safety engineer for Jackson Incorporated. So what will end up happening with the LP tanks is that there is a manifold across each tank that will be where the refill point will happen with those tanks itself. So the gate itself is not accessed all the time. It's really the manifold that is accessed, and that is just slightly outside of the gate itself.
That's what I need to know. Thank you.
And staff can take a look at the way that looks. I don't have an objection. I'm sure the commission doesn't have an objection to the manifold being outside the fence. But that, make it look nice. Commissioner Hogan, push your button. Or I'll do it for you. Go.
Could I just ask that the chain link fence with privacy slats acceptable for this purpose be taken out of that number 8? Do we have to make a motion for that, or?
We'll put it in the motion
Okay.
to approve. Anyone else? Thanks, guys. Is there on the special use, is there a motion to recommend approval of a resolution imposing conditions and restrictions for the approval of a special use to operate industrial, synthetic, and food-grade lubricants for machinery and process packaging businesses, excluding the last sentence in condition 8, which starts with a chain link fence? Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Hogan and Hanneman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to the city of Franklin.
Thanks.
You got lots of good neighbors, and we'll get you hooked into the Business Park Consortium, which is a group of 17 of the business owners doing things of mutual interest, which includes training. It includes job sharing and many other things that are specific just to you guys as manufacturers. So I'll get through the planning staff, I'll get you the information. You're welcome. Move on to item D. D1, joint venture LLC residential multifamily complex detached garage construction. This is a site plan amendment. Ms. Hex.
Thank you, Mayor. And there are additional materials at your seats for this item that were provided by the applicant today, but they are similar to what was in your packets. So this application is a request for a site plan amendment for Joint Venture LLC, which is located at 6350 South 35th Street. Can you go to the next slide, please, Regulo? The applicant is requesting to place a garage or similar storage structure on the property at the location indicated on the drawing with the goal of storing like landscaping equipment in it. Because the property is zoned R8, that necessitates a site plan amendment. There's been a few iterations of this request, and so before you are two possible designs, both of which meet all of the requirements of the zoning. One is 24 by 30. Can you go to the next slide, please, Regulo? Oop, that's the proposed location. So it's screened by trees for the most part from the street, but it does meet the setback requirements for an accessory structure. Next slide. Thank you. So the first proposal is a 24 by 30 shed, which is a total of 720 square feet. So it's a little bit square. It does sit a little bit farther forward on the property. And then next slide, please. The second proposal is for a 16 by 40 or a 640 square foot structure. And so you've been provided with elevations at your seats. It's a pretty standard garage. The applicant is here, and I would like clarification of which structure, if you know. And then engineering is requiring that there be an on-site inspection because there is an easement that they need to verify the location of before the structure can be constructed.
Good evening, sir. Could you give us your name and address, please?
Zachary Galicki, representing Joint Venture at 6350 South 35th Street.
And the answer is?
We prefer the garage,
Which size?
the 24 by 30, sorry, versus
Okay.
the shed.
Questions from the commission? Mr. City Engineer.
So again, to clarify, I think the concern is that we just want to make sure that it doesn't get built too close to our sanitary sewers. So she expressed it, but I just want to stress it.
No problem. If you see, I printed it in a 42 by 30, I believe. But the dashed line to the right where I have that red arrow, that is the 10-foot setback for the manhole that's in the middle. So the survey, I'm actually 3 feet on the other side of it.
Just want to make sure.
No problem, not at all, just to give you a sense of comfort.
Is there a motion to adopt a resolution amending the site plan for a property generally located at 6350 South 35th Street to allow for construction of a detached garage? Hanneman and Leon. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want your plans?
Printed off.
Okay, next item is Woodfield Trail Condominium Development, the condominium plat. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the condominium plat for the Woodfield Trail development. Would like to mention that the special use and site plan for this development that was approved in June. So this application is only so the applicant can create a condominium type of ownership for the 26 units that are being proposed. I would like to mention also that in the plat, it's noted that the Sophia Court to be dedicated, right-of-way dedication. However, that should be done by a separate instrument, either a deed or possibly a certified survey map that would up to the developer. And that would require a separate approval because land cannot be dedicated with a condominium plat. I would like to also mention the easements that are in the packet. So the easements will be subject to a separate approval by the Common Council. Just for reference, the conservation easement on both sides for the wetland areas, buffers and setbacks. The landscape buffer easement to the south to provide the landscape burn along West Loomis Road. As I mentioned, the public dedication for public road, stormwater pond and access easements, and the water main easement. Staff is recommending approval of the application. However, for recording, it has to be the dedication of land for right-of-way purposes has to be approved before recording the plat, the condominium plat. Sorry.
I understand there may be another easement for electrical.
That may be the case, yeah.
And how,
But
we're way too familiar with this condominium development. How do we package it such that we don't have 2 more meetings on this project?
no, well, if we have an easement for electrical, we'll not go to the
Slide in the
city.
package.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
All right, questions from the commission? Is there a motion to recommend approval of a resolution conditionally approving condominium plat for Woodfield Trail condominium at 12000 West Loomis Road? Commissioner Leon, Alderwoman Hanneman. Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second. Hogan and Haley. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.